It might be great news for some and bad news for others, but with the recent unexpected balance patch, only 7 characters received nerfs. Wondering if your main character got a debuff, or if a character you hate playing against was knocked down a few pegs? Well, I'm gonna break down each character's nerfs one by one and explain what everything means. Let's get started. Bayonetta's down air was given 5 more frames of ending lag, as well as her up special, which also received a slight damage nerf. Witch time was also made 5 frames longer, but the slow-mo effect was made shorter overall, and the duration penalty for missing her counter was increased as well. The startup frames on side special were barely increased, however the second hit which launches opponents was given 5 more frames of ending lag. Lastly, Bayonetta's forward and up smash were given a nerf in knockback growth, meaning that your opponents will need a little bit more damage on them before up and forward smash become kill moves. Cloud's intangibility on his roll was reduced by 2 frames, making him easier to hit, and his up air was given a 1% damage nerf. The last hits of forward smash and down smash were nerfed in terms of knockback growth, so they won't kill as early. When it comes to Cloud's limit, the total time for charging the move went from 358 frames to 400 frames, which is an increase of about 3/4 of a second. Cross slash was only given a slight nerf in knockback growth, however finishing touch was given a pretty big nerf in knockback growth when used in the air, so it's not nearly as powerful as it once was. Corrin's neutral air, forward air, and up air were all given a 1% damage nerf, but up air alone had its knockback growth increased, making it harder to juggle and combo enemies. Neutral special was also given a damage nerf, both charged and uncharged. The damage multiplier on Corrin's counter move was reduced by 0.1, and the counter window was made 5 frames shorter. This means that counter surge isn't as powerful now and doesn't last as long. Corrin's walking, running, and airspeed were slightly nerfed, as well as the strength of item tosses for some reason. The intangibility on Corrin's roll was reduced by 2 frames, and it also lasts 1 frame longer. And to top it all off, a bug was removed which once allowed Corrin players to infinitely grab Zero Suit Samus. Meta Knight's up aerial was given a pretty interesting change. Aside from the damage being nerfed by 1%, the angles that it can send enemies were considerably decreased, and the smash DI multiplier was increased by 0.5. What this means is that it's much harder to juggle enemies with, and it's easier for them to escape an up air combo. Surprisingly, Meta Knight's forward air was given a buff I forgot to include in my last video and now has 4 frames less landing lag. SHEIK also received a slight buff I missed before. Her down smash was given an increase in knockback growth, meaning it kills a little bit earlier than it did before. When it comes to nerfs, the position of the hitbox on SHEIK's forward air was changed slightly. The data is in the description below, but it's just a fancy way of saying that it doesn't reach as far. The angle and knockback growth were increased on down throw, making it so that at kill percents she can no longer connect an up special. Opponents can just simply jump away. The angle and knockback growth was also increased on forward throw, making it harder to connect a forward air or bouncing fish at high percents. SHEIK's needles were given a slight range nerf, and the strength of her item toss was also decreased. Lastly, her weight was dropped by 3 points, making her die at lower percents. Zero Suit Samus's up aerial was given a 1.5% damage increase, but it also had its knockback growth buffed, making it much harder to combo at higher percents. Neutral air, on the other hand, was given a 2% damage nerf, a knockback nerf of 2 points, and a buff in knockback growth, making it kill at lower percents than it did before. The hitboxes were also changed, giving neutral air a little bit less range. Down throw was given a nerf in damage and knockback, but its knockback growth was greatly increased, making it much harder to combo out of at higher percents. Back throw was given a 2% damage buff and an increase in knockback and knockback growth, making it almost impossible to combo into down special. Overall, the active frames of Zero Suit Samus's grab was reduced by 4, and the total duration by 3 frames. On the contrary, her side special received a buff I forgot to include in my previous video. All 5 hits of the Plasma Whip were buffed in damage and given reduced knockback growth, meaning it's stronger and easier to combo out of. If you missed the last video outlining the character buffs in patch 1.1.5, just click the top video on your screen. If you want to check out my first subscriber replay montage, check out the bottom video. If you want to be a part of the next subscriber montage, upload your replay to YouTube and send the link to SmashCentralOfficial@gmail.com. If you can't see the annotations or just want a refresher on all the information I just mentioned, the video description below has everything you need. And don't forget to share this video with a friend if you enjoyed it. Sharing is caring, as the cool kids say, and it really helps this channel grow, so it's a win-win. Thanks for watching, I'm GOODxJESUS, and as always, happy smashing.